السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. يا رب العالمين. سبحان الله العظيم. We are here, brothers and sisters, in Juz 16 of our Golden Quran series. And for those that are new, this is inshallah ta'ala an endeavor you're going to love, and reflecting, resonating with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's words as we recite them. And so subhanAllah, here in Juz 16, we go into Surah Al-Kahf, which is for many of us a crossover with our golden our resonation series, right? For those that are aware, this is actually where we would recite Surah Al-Kahf, Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen, Rabbil Arshil Kareem. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Jalla Jalaluhu fi ula accept it from us all. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. And so, inshallah ta'ala, we're connecting paths, subhanAllah, which also relates to Surah Al-Kahf, in the paths that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose for Dhul Qarnayn, and subhanAllah, the path of between Musa alayhi salam and Khidr. That, bidhnai ta'ala, we'll see, subhanAllah, the relations. And so, inshallah ta'ala, we'll be getting straight ahead, actually, to, inshallah ta'ala, the finale in conversations between Khidr and his final explanation or discussion or discourse with Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, or where I'll highlight here in Surah Al-Kahf, chapter the Cave, chapter 18, ayah 82. بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. وأما الجدار فكان لغلامين يتيمين في المدينة وكان تحته كنز لهما وكان أبوهما صالحا فأراد ربك أن يبلغا أشدهما ويستخرجا كنزهما رحمة من ربك وما فعلته عن أمري ذلك تأويل ما لم تسطع عليه صبرا. And as for the wall, this is a translation. As for the wall, it belonged to two orphan boys in the city, and under the wall was a treasure that belonged to them. And their father had been a righteous man. So your Lord willed that these children should come of age of purity, and retrieve their treasure as a mercy from your Lord. I did not, and this is the Qur'an, I did not do it all on my own. This is the explanation of what you could not bear patiently. This is the words of Khidr, Sayyidina Khidr, may peace and blessings be upon him, to Prophet Musa alayhi salam. And subhanAllah, we learn the importance of sabr, patience, as we learned from Yaqub alayhi salam, وَصَبْرٌ جَمِيلٌ in Surah Yusuf. SubhanAllah, we learned the importance of patience, but also of righteousness, and this, SubhanAllah, is highlighted in, SubhanAllah, the speech that is highlighted here of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala regarding what Khidr said to Musa alayhi salam, and the hikmah, or in fact, the ta'wil, the explanation or interpretations of the situations that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had placed between Musa alayhi salam and Khidr, with the actions that Khidr, may peace and blessings be upon him, had done, which seemed odd and out of place, or odd and perhaps unacceptable in the norms, or the norms are unacceptable in Prophet Musa alayhi salam's thoughts, subhanallah. And this is something that, it shows us that, in our own lives, sometimes things may appear, astronomically odd or astronomical. We may, subhanAllah, um, have we may be tested, for example, with luxuries, and may have family members that are not going off as well. And you may wonder, like, oh, is it from, it's a test, right? So you don't want to become one that is egotistical and become amongst those that have kibr or pride, thinking that they got this from their own selves. And this connects us with, subhanAllah, the people of the two gardens in Surah Al-Kahf. But subhanAllah, it shows us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests whom He wills and grants uh, justice, but also provision to whomsoever He wills, right? And that also connects to Bismillah ta'ala, Sayyidina Maryam alayhi salam, which we're going to learn inshallah ta'ala in due time. Um, but inshallah ta'ala, I hope this inshallah has connected with many of us. The importance of patience, the importance of perseverance, and inshallah ta'ala elevated knowledge and wisdom. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us all. all. And inshallah ta'ala, we may actually move further to uh, Surah 19, actually, which takes us beautifully in, actually, to Surah Maryam. For those that are aware, this is the chapter of Mary. May peace and blessings be upon her and her son, Sayyidina Isa ibn Maryam. Subhanallah al-Azim, which inshallah ta'ala I hope connects all of us, And by the way, may Allah grant us, as shown in Ayah 107, Jannatul Firdaus al-A'la as a nuzula, as an accommodation. And indeed, Jannatul Firdaus is the highest place in paradise. May Allah grant it to us. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. I will go, inshallah ta'ala, to Ayah 33. If we go scroll, maybe it's more, I would prefer to actually scroll, subhanallah, to highlight the ayah itself. And this is from Sayyidina Isa ibn Maryam, subhanallah al-azim. And this is after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uh, guides him to speak or allows him to speak. There's an important ayah that subhanAllah I think we should all reflect upon. And this is part of Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salatu wasalam speech. قال أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم والسلام علي يوم ولدت ويوم أموت ويوم أبعث حيا. The translation is peace be upon me the day I was born. And subhanAllah, as we could see here, the day I die and the day I will be raised back to life. Subhanallah al-Azim. If we look at this is so profound. If we really were to come to appreciate this, one, he is speaking at like early infancy in the cradle as shown here. Subhanallah. And it shows you, even the idea of the cradle relating to Musa alayhi salam, right? How he was, in the river Nile River, and going through at a young age in a cradle. Subhanallah. It shows you that, subhanallah, even the paths that we've spoken about, I don't want to create false connections, but actually, indeed, subhanallah, this is something that we should, be mindful of, that all of us, there's a point, there's three, there's more stages, but amongst them that are highlighted here, the day of our birth, the day of our return to this world, and the day that we're resurrected. Subhanallah. And subhanallah, the peace that is highlighted here, wassalam, and peace be upon me the day I was born, the day I die, and the day I shall be raised alive. Subhanallah. It shows you that this affirmation, indeed, that he is a worshipper of Allah, right? Because who else would have these traits except a slave, except one who has been guided from Allah by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, brothers and sisters, and indeed that he is a creation of Allah. So this actually, for those that will come to know and read these words of Jesus, or Isa ibn Maryam, Jesus the son of Mary, or Isa alayhi salatu wassalam, they would come to appreciate that indeed, how could, he be thereafter the son? Or a'udhu billah, be an affiliate of our Creator, right? When he indeed dies, and indeed he'll be raised alive, raised and resurrected like ourselves, right? And even being born, right? We know from Surah Al-Ikhlas, Surah Al-Ahad, chapter 112, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, ayah 3, a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, lam yalid wa lam yulad, nor does he beget, nor was he born. Nor does he give birth, nor was he born. This is referring to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so, brothers and sisters, I hope, even if you know those that are, are um, of the Ansar, uh, Ansar, that are like the Christian brethren, to let them know that, subhanAllah, the Christians, that, subhanAllah, Isa alayhi salam never claimed to be, the son of his creator, but rather to be his creation, to be a part of the creation. And subhanAllah, like Nabi al-Karim sallallahu alayhi wasallam, this shows you that, there is humility, there is honesty and sincerity. And may Allah allow us to be amongst those that are mukhlisun indeed. Ameen Ya Rabbil Alameen. As the chapter of sincerity, chapter of Ikhlas highlights for us all. Now we'll actually be going to Surah Taha. Ameen Ya Rabbil Alameen. Surah Taha is chapter 20, and this also refers to Musa alayhi salam. So we're making many connections, brothers and sisters, and I hope you can appreciate them in due time. And subhanAllah, and with the tasks that we all have in our lives, an ayat or a set of ayat that inshallah, even if we looked at ayat 26 of Surah Taha, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ويسر لي أمري, and make my task easy. This is one of the ayat that Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam says to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in asking, supplicating to him in preparation of speaking to Fir'aun, subhanallah, following the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in ayah 24, go to Pharaoh, for he has truly transgressed all bounds. Then Musa alayhi salam says in these following ayat, and I want us to really understand that, the only one who could provide you ease, really indeed, is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? We know this from Surah Al-Shahr, right? As if we were to look downwards, and that's technically just 30. But inshallah, as we know, many of us, right, we often say, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا, right? Indeed, with hardship, there is ease. With hardship, there is ease. Subhanallah. With hardship, there is ease. Indeed, with hardship, there is ease. And, you know, importantly, even with these difficulties or tests and trials that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed and placed for His special servants, like the prophets and Anbiya or Mursaleen, prophets and messengers, they too have asked for, or they too during these tests and trials, receive ease, patience, receive, by Allah's wisdom. As we talked about earlier, there is wisdom in these types of tests and trials that we may not know, but subhanAllah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can provide ease or task, can, through our tasks or through this task, provide comfort, provide serenity. And indeed, He's the best of providers, as we talked about with Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam, right? For Maryam alayhi salam, alayhi salatu wasalam, that, how could she give birth? She was wondering how she could give birth when she was not touched by a man. SubhanAllah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, kun fayakun. And before this, قال هو ربك هو علي هين. And the angel Jibreel alayhi salam said that, and this is a portion, هو علي هين, it is easy for me, or that is easy for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to do, right? And this is, subhanAllah, how thus, and indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in making affairs easy for Maryam alayhi salam to give birth as a virgin, Virgin Mary, to uh, our dear Prophet, or our Prophet Isa alayhi salam, to the Prophet Isa alayhi salam. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can make easy the affairs of Prophet Musa alayhi salam with the Fir'aun of his time. And indeed, for ourselves, brothers and sisters, we should not think that our affairs cannot be controlled, cannot be bestowed and provided for by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For indeed, He is the Lord of all creation, all dominions, all conditions. And so subhanAllah, with this, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to appreciate and receive ease during all of our tests and tribulations. Ameen Ya Rabbil Alameen. Barakallahu feekum. I hope, inshallah ta'ala, this is of benefit, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to reap the highest of rewards, receive Jannat al-Firdaus al-A'la as a nusula, as an accommodation, as we know. Barakallahu feekum. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Barakallahu feekum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.